What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in today. My name is Zach Hernandez, and I will be solo. We're going to be previewing the 49ers' big matchup against the Seahawks tomorrow, and it's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure how many people think that the 49ers are going to walk away with this win, but they always play each other really, really tough. So this matchup's going to be big. I think, obviously, the 49ers have two big differences in this game, is that Quan Alexander likely won't play, so Dre Greenlaw will. And on the flip side, Jamal Adams, the Seahawks' big acquisition, he's not, at least according to what I'm reading, likely not going to play. So the 49ers should be able to exploit this historically bad Seahawks defense, and Jimmy Garoppolo should be able to have another solid day. What's up, Spinic Danger? Appreciate you guys in the comments. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, drop a comment below. And for all you guys watching, go to our YouTube channel right now and drop a comment of your score predictions. If whoever gets it right, we will give you guys some free merch, some free 49ers Hive merch. So all you got to do is drop a comment with your final score prediction in our YouTube channel on this video. If you happen to get it right, once the video is done, once the game is over, we'll send you some merch. What's up, Tony? Appreciate you guys. Go Niners. But yeah, we're just going to get into it. Matt is on a vacation with his lovely woman. They are celebrating, so it's just going to be me today. There's Matt right there. Yep, he'll be back on with us tomorrow, so don't worry. It's just going to be me today. Anthony might join us a little later, but for now, it's just me. So we're still going to have a great time as always, guys. And what I really want to touch on is Jimmy Garoppolo, to be honest. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Tony, I appreciate the love, man. Keep it up. Make sure you guys go and check out Tony's work over at Nothing But Niners. He's on some great videos over there, so appreciate you, Tony. But yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, guys, he's had two solid games back-to-back. You could argue that he should have had a better game last week towards the second half, but, you know, it is what it is. And Jimmy Garoppolo, towards the first half of the year, the first couple of games that he started, he was bad Jimmy, and you could argue ankle injury, you could argue offensive line play, but the balls that he was throwing were just not great. We've seen a different Jimmy in the last couple of games, and I just think that whichever Jimmy shows up tomorrow, it depends on how the 49ers win or not. And I think that the fact that they don't have Deebo Samuel, which I really want to touch on that as well a little bit later, the fact that he was still in there that late in the game, and that's, when he got injured. But I just feel like, yes, exactly, Tony. The knock on Jimmy is that he's very inconsistent, and that's completely true. The guy is hot, he's cold, he's great, he's bad. So it's just he's all over the place. And the 49ers are going to need a solid outing from Jimmy. And more importantly, they should get one, because the Seahawks defense, like I said to start off, is bad. The Seahawks defense is really bad, historically bad. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to Jimmy having a nice game. And although Deebo isn't going to be in here, I look for Brandon Ayuk to have a big game as well, because the rookie's been putting on some really good performances. And I just feel like without Deebo, he's able to do some of the things that Deebo does. At least he's shown so far. He should be able to have a good game. Going into the injuries, like I said, Jamal Adams is expected to miss the game. John Lynch was on KNBR Friday morning, and he said that they're optimistic Jimmy Ward will suit up, and K'Wan Williams and Tevin Coleman have a solid chance to play. Most surprising out of everything, I think, is the Jordan Reed news. It sounds like, he was obviously moved off the IR. His practice window was opened up. So he even has a chance to play, which is astonishing considering he got injured in week 2, I believe, against the Giants, and that's an 8-week injury from what they quoted back then. So that's pretty astonishing if you think about it. Jordan Reed has a chance to play. So when he was in, he was fantastic. George Kittle and him never really got on the field at the same time due to injuries, but Jordan Reed picked up a lot of the offense when George Kittle wasn't there. So if the 49ers can have both of them healthy and on the field at the same time, these defenses, man, they're going to have their hands full. Let's get into some questions here. Spinic Danger, will Quan Alexander steal some valuable snaps from Dre Greenlaw? I hope not. I really hope not, because the knock on Quan is that he's a great leader. He's so fiery and competitive, and he's got this great energy that he brings to the defense. However, he makes some boneheaded mistakes. And, like week 1 where he's, backing up against Kyler when he's well past the line of scrimmage and he can just go and tackle the guy, but he's backing up like he's still about to throw the ball. And, those types of plays from Quan, unfortunately, have become kind of the norm. He's good for 1 to 2 of those a game, and they always seem to happen at costly moments. On the other hand, Dre Greenlaw has been fantastic. The guy has played out of his mind when asked to, and last week, I think that there was a play where, or not last week, on Sunday night against the Rams, if I remember correctly, there was a play where the running back was going into the end zone, and you saw Greenlaw fly like a missile, and he hit the running back out of bounds, saved the touchdown, and then what happens on the next play or 2 plays later? Jason Verrett gets his interception. So that tackle right there saved the 49ers 7 points. So I really hope Dre Greenlaw has a solid outing in this game, and Quan Alexander doesn't take away valuable playing time, with all due respect to Quan, of course. Tony, I think Hasty will also have a monster game. But this is where I'm nervous. Hear me out, guys. Oops, sorry. Hear me out. Tevin Coleman, from what we keep hearing, he should play. He should be back from his injury. I don't know why that makes me nervous. I don't know why. You should be happy when players come back, especially with the depleted running back position. The 49ers need all the bodies they can get at that position. However, Tevin Coleman, man, talk about inconsistent. The guy has been really good in some games, but for the most part, it's been not much, So, yeah, and I agree with you, Tony. He's got to be the thumper. He's got to be the short yardage back, and where I think he'll be most important, and maybe it won't be as vital because Jamal Adams, it doesn't look like he's going to play, is in the pass protection. Tevin Coleman is a fantastic blitz. He picks up the blitz really well, and Jimmy is going to need that if they're able to bring in if the Seahawks are bringing in pressure. They need that extra back there. We haven't really seen that from Hasty yet, and I would argue Tevin Coleman is the best pass protection back that the 49ers have. So if he is healthy, hopefully he's in on passing plays. I see, Tony, you commented 3rd and long. That as well, because they need that extra time for the receivers, the tight ends, to get those routes down the field and get open, find that soft spot in the zone, whatever the case may be. That doesn't happen in 2.5 seconds. So that will be key if Tevin Coleman does play. I still want to see Michael Hasty as the featured back on Sunday, because the runs that we saw from him last Sunday against Patriots, they were really good. They were really, really good, and I really liked what I saw from the guy, and I hope to see a lot more moving forward. Another question here. Will Saleh steal the winning defensive formula that the Cardinals, used to shut down Wilson in overtime? I hope he does, man. I hope he does. You saw the Cardinals completely take it to the Seahawks. The Seahawks pretty much had no answer for them. Aside from, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I think Lockett had like 3 touchdowns on the day. That's just unfortunately going to happen with Russell Wilson and these wide receivers. They're going to beat you deep a couple of times a game, it seems like. So I think that Cliff Kingsbury and I think their DC is Raheem Morris. I could be wrong, though. Whoever the DC is did a fantastic job Sunday night. And I feel like the 49ers need to take that game plan, take that footage, that tape, and apply the same type of game plan on Sunday, because that was effective. I mean, it handed the Seahawks the first loss of the year. And, all of these teams, minus the Rams, and Rams are kind of that like ugly redheaded stepchild that don't play the division as tough. But the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Niners, those 3 teams always play each other as tough as anyone. So I think that the 49ers should be able to take some of what the Cardinals did and be able to implement that Sunday in this game plan. And if so, I think they come out successful. Khalil Young, I would spy Russell Wilson with Greenlaw occasionally, 100%. 100%. Spot on, man. Because Russell Wilson, if he gets into backyard ball or if he's able to break out of the pocket, the guy's lethal. You're asking for points. You're asking for first downs. And the 49ers just can't afford to have that happen. Another comment here from Tony. I feel like the O-line is finally getting on the same page. It's very encouraging. Can we talk about Haranis Grasu, however you pronounce his first name? The guy came in and made his, 2nd or 3rd start Sunday against the Patriots. And it's similar to a long snapper. When you don't hear their name, that's a good thing. And we didn't hear Grasu's name once. So, yeah, I totally agree with you, Tony. I think the 49ers offensive line is starting to mesh. They're starting to gel. Guys, you got to remember, there's a lot of new pieces here. It's not last year's offensive line to where these guys know each other's inconsistencies, and how they play, their tendencies. These are all guys that are playing together for the first time, mostly. So I think it's going well, and I totally agree with you. Grasu will have a big test versus Ford and Reed, respectfully. Yeah, he will. And I think he can handle his own. I liked what we saw from him. I believe he played, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit in week 1 against Cardinals. Both times he was solid. So I really like what Grasu has done. Vance Joseph, thank you. Gosh, they look so similar to me, Raheem Mostert, Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph did a fantastic job, the Cardinals defensive coordinator, against the Seahawks. Am I more concerned with the defense or the offense against the Seahawks? Nice one. To be honest with you, the offense. I think the defense, for the most part, take away that that Miami game, which has been kind of a fluke. They played really well all year, especially given all of the injuries, all of just the everything they've had, all the adversity they've had to overcome. This defense has been really good. They've done a great job at holding opponents down to a reasonable score to where the offense can then win it. But we've seen the offense not come through occasionally. So I think that's going to be key. I'm more concerned with what Jimmy Garoppolo can do. I'm more concerned with how they overcome Deebo Samuel not being there. I'm more concerned with, Raheem Mostert out again. And don't get me wrong, JaMychal Hasty looked great. However, Jeff Wilson looked great and arguably a little better. So now they're down Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. They might get back, at least they look like they're getting back Tevin Coleman. I would say the offense definitely needs to come through Sunday for the 49ers to win, regardless if the defense holds the Seahawks to 17 points. If the offense can't put up 20, it's a moot point. So really looking forward to seeing Willis play. Yeah, the 49ers acquired Jordan Willis, a linebacker from the Jets. I'm excited to see him play too. Hopefully he can get something going, because the 49ers, they've been able to get some pressure, but they haven't been able to get home on these sacks. And they're going to need them to do that in order to have some success on Sunday. Excuse me real quick. Nothing like that. Simply lemonade. Oh, it's so good. Strawberry. Let's see. Not much. Oh, you guys are having a conversation, I see. Yep. Hey, go Niners, man. Appreciate you guys having just tuning in. It's just me today, like I said, but I love having a nice conversation with all you guys. So go 49ers. Spinic Danger, any idea why the 49ers special teams have struggled this year? That is a fantastic question, and it's so unfortunate, because that's an area to where they shouldn't be struggling. They really shouldn't be. They have all their pieces, and I just don't understand what's going on there. I don't get it. They, time and time again, they take a punt back 2-3 yards, they get tackled. Nothing is going on. Whether it's Trent, Dante, whatever the case is, it's not working out for them, and it's concerning. It really is concerning. And not only that, but we've seen extra points getting blocked. We've seen punts, the snaps getting fumbled and recovered by opposing teams. The 49ers need their special teams to step up, and until they do so, that's just going to be an area of their game. I mean, we always hear 3 facets of the game: offense, defense, special teams. Right now, they only have 2. Special teams has been non-existent, so they need to get it going, and I'm not really quite sure what it is. I don't know if it's their special teams coach. I don't know if it's a certain player or what. One thing I want to talk about, though, real quick, guys, Dante Pettis. And I know, look, trust me, I'm sure you guys are all sick of the Dante Pettis talk, but what the hell is his problem with taking back punts? You could argue receiving, running routes, that doesn't translate always to the NFL, although we did see it for a little bit. Taking punts is the same whether you're taking punts in college, whether you're taking punts in Romania, it's the same thing everywhere. So I just don't know why he suddenly can't return punts. He was historically great in college at Washington, and then he came to the NFL with the 49ers, and it was like a switch, just turned right off. Suddenly he can't do it. So I don't know what it is, man. I really don't know what it is, but hopefully the 49ers can get something going. Because that special teams unit, they need a spark. And yeah, just like Tony said, he led the NCAA in punt return. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on, but something needs to happen. And I agree with you as well, Tony. He's not a fit for this team. We've talked about it time and time again. The guy's just not a dog. He doesn't have that dog mentality. And look, all due respect to Dante Pettis, I hate seeing people go at him and tweet at him, hateful things. Don't do that. Leave the guy alone. He's obviously got a lot going on in his life that's kind of translating into his play and how he performs. But just as a football player, respectfully, Dante, I don't think the 49ers are the right fit for you. And I think there's a case to be made, whether you guys agree with me or not, type it in the comments below, on if the 49ers mismanaged him, whether Kyle's not using him correctly, whether Kyle's holding him to a different standard than other receivers, and for some reason not giving him any targets, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to have that argument now. I think we should have it when Matt comes back, because Matt is usually pretty opinionated on these things. But I agree with you. He's not a fit. And yeah, River Craycraft, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He'll be likely returning punts. I saw that they promoted him instead of Kevin White. They promoted Kevin White over Dante for the last 2 weeks. Now it'll be River Craycraft. So we'll see what he's got, man. We need any type of spark that we can get. Khalil Young, where do we make up the production we lose with Debo being out? Brandon Ayuk, the rookie. I don't know if he can completely replace that production in addition to having his own, but he's had, I think I'd argue every game he's gotten better. And maybe not stat-wise, but from what we're seeing from him on the field, from what he's able to do. And real quick, guys, if you're watching this, share this video, hit that retweet button on Twitter, whatever the case is, get this out here. Let's get as many people in here as we can. I love talking 49ers with you guys. So share this video, like this video, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But going back to your question, Khalil, I think it's Kali. I keep saying Khalil. I keep saying a second L, Kali. I think that Brandon Ayuk can step in for Debo, and we've seen him already take some of those end arounds. He's a fantastic, I'd argue he's a better pure receiver than Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel is more like a running back. We've all heard he's a running back and a wide receiver, but a running back's body. I think Brandon Ayuk is a pure receiver. The guy can run routes. He can get open deep, but he can also do some of the things in the backfield like we saw him. With all that being said, I don't want to see Brandon Ayuk lined up under center, because then you're risking an injury. Then you're risking him getting more physical against the line. And I don't want to see that. The 49ers are already too beat up. Use him very, very diligently and smartly, because you cannot risk him going out in addition to Debo being out now. Melissa, and I appreciate all you guys' questions, by the way. Do you think we get picks versus Russell Wilson? And would you prefer picks or sacks? Also, who do I want to see get them? Great question. Look, Russell Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, I think last week was like his second or third interception. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did not have too many interceptions going in to that game. And I feel like obviously I would prefer interceptions, because they completely stop drives. Whether it's a sack, it could be 1st and 10, you get sacked, it comes back 2nd and 18. Well, Russell Wilson has the ability to convert that like 9 times out of 10. So I don't think that, I'd rather see sacks. I'm all over the place. I'd rather see interceptions. I think that the 49ers are capable. We've seen them put Russell Wilson in position before to make some of these bad throws. Now, don't get me wrong. I know we're not going to have Nick Bosa and Dee Ford, tearing up the field and terrorizing Russell Wilson, but they're still able to get some solid pressure. Kevin Gibbons has played well. Kerry Hyder has played well. So I would much rather see some interceptions. And also, who do I want to see get them? It's got to be Dre Greenlaw. And Dre Greenlaw, I'll go 2 guys. Dre Greenlaw, Jason Verrett. Greenlaw, he's a Seahawk killer. He's had 2 fantastic plays in 2 games against the Seahawks already. If you guys remember that week, I want to say it was week 8 or week 9 matchup last year when we played the Seahawks for the first time, when Dre Greenlaw in overtime had what should have been the game-winning interception. Think back to that interception, man. That was beautiful. Russell Wilson drops back. They're already closer in the end zone, and he thinks he's got his receiver, and he's just trying to place it right over Greenlaw. And Greenlaw says, nope. And he picks that and takes it almost back to the house where it would have won the game. And then obviously in week 17, we all know one of the most famous 49ers plays in recent history, hitting the tight end. I'm forgetting his name. It's not Hollister. I think it was the other one, short of the goal line. And that play is going to live on in 49ers history forever. So I would love to see Dre Greenlaw. And also I mentioned Jason Verrett. I think Jason Verrett has played out of his mind. I was so happy to see him get interceptions against the Rams, especially the way that he got that in the end zone. But I think that those two guys have a solid chance at picking off Russell Wilson. Let's see. Let's get some more questions here, some more comments. I see, Audie, I think you asked in here. No, Matt is on vacation. He will be back tomorrow for the post-game recap. It's just me today. Let's see. What else we got in here? Cyprian will boost special teams. Yeah, I'm really, really happy that he decided to stay with the 49ers on the practice squad because he was a guy, I think you guys all remember, in preseason, I don't want to say preseason because there wasn't a preseason, in training camp, they asked him, if you don't make the roster, are you willing to sign on as the practice squad? And he said, no, at this point in my career, pretty much, I want to make the team. He changed his mind. I don't know what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan told him, but he changed his mind, and now he's got some chances to play and have meaningful minutes. So I really love that guy, and I think that he's the type of veteran the 49ers really need going forward. Love Debo. He hasn't healthy much this year. I don't think that's our biggest offensive worry. That's a good point, Melissa. That's a great point. The 49ers have had success without Debo. So now it's just about continuing that success, keeping the ball rolling. And they've done a good job building some momentum in their last two games against the Rams and the Patriots. I'm sure you guys remembered 3 weeks ago when we were all talking about, oh, my God, now they're entering the 7-game gauntlet stretch. Well, look what's happened since. The 49ers beat two solid teams in the Rams and the Patriots in dominating fashion, too. The teams that they're playing in the 7-game stretch, Seattle, Green Bay, New Orleans, Buffalo, they've all had losses that make you think, maybe they're not who we thought they were. Maybe they're not elite teams. Maybe they're not Super Bowl contenders. I'd say after week 8, you really start to see who these teams are. The pretenders and the contenders separate themselves out, and I think that's what we're starting to see happen right now. These teams look a lot more beatable. Saints look a lot more beatable. Green Bay looks a lot more beatable. So I think the 49ers should be able to continue the momentum that they've had tomorrow against the Seahawks, and it's got to be with their offense. They got to have a good day from Jimmy Garoppolo and his surrounding crew. If not, it's going to be a tough one. Kyle's given himself ample opportunity to make a name for himself. Are you talking about Jonathan Cyprian or Brandon Ayuk? Oh, maybe short-arming passes, running wrong routes. I think we're talking about Dante here. If I could take a random guess. Let's see. Ayuk is a mini Debo. Yep, that's true. And arguably faster straight line speed. Ayuk is a fantastic receiver. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was mad. I was mad when the draft came and they passed up on CeeDee Lamb to take Javon Kinlaw. And it's not even that I was mad at Javon Kinlaw. I just really wanted CeeDee Lamb. And he's been great in Dallas from what I've seen. I mean, it's hard to judge now that Dak's injured. But Brandon Ayuk has been great for the 49ers. He's exactly what this offense needed. He's a yak bro, He's able to take that ball and make something happen. And I think it really explains why Kyle Shanahan, after the draft, said, this was my number one receiver. All you guys had Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, the top 3 in whatever order. No. Brandon Ayuk, that guy was my number one. And I think we're starting to see why, because he fits the best in this offense. And I'm so excited to see what he's going to do Sunday against a beat-up defense. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to have to end this real quick. I'll be back on in about 10, 15 minutes.